looking for some crazy fun, you don't know what to do, I recommend you listen to Badgertunes. Hey guys, how you going? Jeff from Badgertunes here. I misplaced my glasses and everything's a little off today. Just gonna be today. I figured I'd just chat to you guys while I restrum one of my guitars. It's just to pass the time. Who knows how much of this is going up, but we will see. As I said in my last video, last week I went to Bigsound all week long, so that's why I didn't do any recording of any kind. Was a lot going on. I had initially intended to do like a bit of a vlog thing and maybe some interviews with some people from Bigsound, just artists or industry people that I ran into, old friends, things like that. But it didn't quite pan out that way, unfortunately. It was just chaotically crazy from start to finish. God, I hate saying Basically, I didn't get around to it. So my plan is to have some of those people I met and those I already knew to, at some stage down the track, come on board channel to have like an interview or discuss something. Who knows? Anything from like, say, what defines an impossible bass line to songwriting to electronic music. There are many different people I've met and speak to now and have previously. So I guess the potentials there are limitless. If you guys have anything you really want to be discussed from people who actually work in music, who actually do spend their life and their day trying to make a living from their music and their passions, then leave a comment and I'll get on as fast as I can. I guess one of the main key takeaways I got from last week at Bigsound was the fact that people always, when you're not making a living off being a musician, you always see those who are, and you think, oh man, they've made it, they're so great, they must be so talented, they must be doing something so much different than what I am. And then when you go to an event like this where you spend time with those who do that and around them, you realize that they're just the same as everyone else. They're just people, and it's literally the difference in what they do is so minuscule and so minimal, but it has such a great impact. Like it's just a change of perception or the way that you perceive things, or maybe it's just approaching one task with a little bit more of tenacity and a little bit more of forethought. Like I spoke to so many songwriters and musicians, and there was this panel, and one of the girls on the panel mentioned that when she writes a song, she writes a song and then leaves it for at least 3 days and goes back to it before she considers whether or not it's worthy to actually refine. And I thought, wow, that's actually a good takeaway. And it's a simple thing that most of us, like in the moment when you're making music, you're being so judgmental of yourself, so strongly critical of what you're doing and how you're playing. And even if it's not fully conscious in your mind, it's there in the background, constantly thinking, oh, am I doing this right or am I doing this wrong? And it's important to, like if you are going to be writing something or you're going to be, recording, just to take a step back and then come back to it later, because you'll see it with a different perspective. And that can be applied to anything, not just songwriting, recording music or like an event. Which is quite cool. Going off on a tangent here. There are lots of other things that we'll discuss, like how to make a career out of music. And one of the common things that really kept coming up was different revenue streams. And a lot of musicians or people working in the industry didn't just have one job or just one form of of income. And I spoke to a few managers and a few people who are on, the teams of musicians, and they mentioned how a lot of musicians are turning to alternative forms of income. Like a few are using Patreon, from what I know. Just releasing content, and they mentioned how it's really good to, if you do that, do what your audience wants to a degree. Like, don't just go out there and go, oh, I'm gonna release a 7 days in the life of Jeff series and hope people like it. You need to really make sure people like it. But it just it highlights that there's just so many different ways of where you can earn money, or where you can get your content out there. It doesn't have to be just the mainstream. Oh, I'm gonna make music and put it online, or oh, I'm gonna make music and play it in a pub. There are just so many different ways. There's collaboration, there's all sorts of manner of different things, and I'm sure I'll bring someone on who will be able to talk a lot more knowledgeable about all that than me. But it's just really awesome to see that music these days is not as limiting as it once was, and that there's just so many options out there for musicians and for I guess people who work like producers or sound engineers or whatever it is. There's just so much more. I mean, especially here in Brisbane. I don't know about the States or all of that, or overseas, other cities, but here in Brisbane there's a fair bit going on. And obviously if you have the drive, you always find a way. For me, I think one of the things that's really awesome was, as a single father, as you guys already know, I find it really hard to find the time or the ability to go to gigs or to go to events or to get involved, because I have that responsibility. And previously people weren't always that understanding, even in music. It was always, oh, that's a barrier from, he can't do the job because he has this, or he can't help out at this event because he has his daughter. And it's been a while since I've really fully gotten into music. And this last week, I met so many musicians who were single fathers or single mothers, and they were thick in music. They did it all the time. They performed, they played, some of them, a lot of them got paid for what they did. It was really awesome to see that sense of community has grown to accepting and to be accommodating for all manner of people. Not just people with obligations, people with disabilities and stuff like that. There was talks about how we should structure venues and events to allow for people who have limiting factors of mental or physical disabilities to be able to come along and be involved. And I thought that was really awesome. It's so beautiful to see how much music is growing and becoming accepting and beautiful as what it is. Because music in itself, it is accepting. It transcends the barrier of languages and cultures. You play and you can intend to impart a message, but someone else can hear your song and feel a different resonation, a different message in it, and that in itself is just so beautiful. And I think that's really amazing. And I think that's really at the heart of all of these events. It's the takeaway is that music is for everyone, and if you have the passion and you have the love, there will be a way. You need to grit down and find it. Get involved with your local community. Just take that risk, take that leap. All right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna get to restringing this guitar. It's been a long time coming. But hopefully this week I will be releasing an original. It is a song. I went through of course, a song. I went through some old books, and I found some songs that I wrote when I was about 17 or 16 or 17, and plan to refine a few and maybe record them and pop them up, because they're pretty alright. I mean, some of the lyrics are pretty heavy, but it's alright. So look forward to that. Hopefully there'll be some covers coming up and some interviews really soon. If you guys have anything you'd like me to cover, pop a comment down below, let me know. or if there's something that you don't like about the comment, pop a comment down below. Say how I can improve. I'd appreciate any feedback. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed my little vlog kind of thing here. Sorry it was really informal, but this is probably the first time I've done it. And maybe subscribe or check out my other content, and I'll see you guys next time. Laters.